Welcome to QT Academy. This session is all about color, and we're going to be introducing you to a new collection that we have presented to the shops and that you'll be seeing soon, called Harmony. Now let me give you a little bit of background as far as how Harmony became what it is and what was the thought process behind it. I had a shop for quite a long time, and I helped a lot of quilters over the years with their color choices. And I know that there's always the situation where you're looking for different values within a color range, or you're looking for certain things and you just can't find them on the particular color wall that you're working with at that store. So it was a challenge that certainly I encountered over and over again. Somebody would want something and I just didn't have it. So I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about, and this may be a situation that you encountered yourself as you've been shopping over the years. Value is light, medium, dark, as you know. It's starting at the very lightest, it can go to the very darkest. Everybody knows what value is. But let's say that you need several values of the same color for a project that you're working on. And so you need, in this particular case, let's say you need a light, medium, and a dark blue as they're relative to each other. And you know that value is relative. What it's next to determines whether it's a light or a dark because it's relative to its neighbor. So in this particular case, we have three values of blue. Three values of blue. And here is a light, a medium, and a dark. And let's say we were at a shop, at a color wall, and trying to find three values of blue because that's what your project requires. What I found was three values of blue. This is a light cloud blue. This is a more of a aqua greener type of a blue. And then we have a royal blue. So certainly they fulfill the requirements of light, medium, and dark. But there's a problem with how they work together, and again, it's relative to the type of project that you're working on. They're not the same cast. Another example is the green. So here we have a light, medium, and a dark green. And the light is much more of a minty green. The medium is much more of a limey, yellowy green. And the dark is a bluer green. Again, three values, distinctly clear how they relate to each other, but the casts are all different. There are certainly times when you can work with multiple casts and you're doing scrappy things, and again, it's all relative to your project. So there are times when these selections might be exactly what you need. But there are also times when you're trying to work with a palette that's fairly controlled, and you have a hard time finding things that work together nicely. So based on this, situation, and something that happens commonly is how Harmony was created. So let's talk about Harmony. Harmony comes in 20 color stories, and within each color story are 4 values. So we'll use the purple here as an example. 4 values. And each of those values is represented by a different print. So the lightest value is represented by a weave, a printed woven texture. The next value is represented by a leaf print. The next one is represented by a swirl print. And the darkest value is represented by a little tossed square print. So right there you have 4 values that work beautifully together. But why do they work so well together as opposed to the examples I showed earlier of the greens and the blues? The reason they work so beautifully together is because they're all from the same color cast. And cast of color is something that you certainly want to be aware of because sometimes it gives you the answer to why isn't this working. I've made something, or I've bought fabric and I'm laying it out and it's just not what I envisioned. It's not looking the way I thought it would. And many times that answer, my experience anyway, has tied back to the cast of colors that are being used. So in the Harmony program, there are 20 colors, 20 color stories, and within each of those color stories are the 4 value steps, all within the same cast. So these are the brights, and this is the more of a home friendly value range of colors, and so you'll see that they are in warm and cool colors. They would fit easily into any decor, and the same thing applies here, where you have the lightest is the weave, the second is the leaf, the third is the swirl, and the fourth is the little tossed square. So 4 values, and this is the rest of the Harmony selections. There are 84 pieces in Harmony, and what's great about Harmony is not only does it come in flat cotton, regular cotton, but all of these SKUs also come in flannel. Another important thing for both a consumer and a shop owner is that these are considered an in-stock program for Quilting Treasures. That means that these SKUs can be reordered, and we will have them in stock to ship again. So you know how it is sometimes when you're working on a project and you run out of something, you go back to the store and they can tell you, sorry, I don't have it anymore, and I really can't order it anymore. It's no longer available. That's not the case with Harmony. Harmony is in stock. It can be reordered. The shop will be able to get it for you. Let's look at Harmony a little bit up close, and you can see things a little bit easier. There are 4 color stories here. On the blue, you can clearly see the values, and you can also see the patterns for each of those values. So again, this is the woven texture, the leaf print, the swirls, and the little tossed squares. In this red color story, you can see the 4 values very clearly as well. In the greens, again, you can see. And here's a neutral color story. I think it's very important to have a range of neutrals that work well together. I think so many neutrals are used in quilting, and it can be a challenge sometimes to find the right neutrals that work well together. In Harmony, we provide a range of neutrals in grays and browns and tans and so forth. And this is one example here with the tans. So you can see that the 4 values all within the same cast, and they work beautifully together. So if you're doing a scrappy quilt, or really any kind of quilt that requires a background at times, you'll want a variety of neutrals. This is an example of how well you can get those to work well together and give you the result that you want. Harmony is also available in a variety of pre-cuts. So we have fat quarter bundles, we have 2.5-inch strip rolls, and within each type of cut there is an assortment of colors. So here's an example of the soft cool colors, an example of the soft warm colors. Here is our stack of neutrals. Here is a stack of the brights. And then you can see the strip rolls to the front of them. So that's something that might be perfect for the project that you want to make. I'll show you some examples of our free patterns that we have available, and these are projects that might be of interest to you. One of the first ones here is a Bargello quilt, and this is using the 2.5-inch strip roll that's shown here, and is no borders. It's very fresh, it's very clean. You can see the success of having multiple values and how they relate to each other. This quilt is beautiful because of that, everything being so relative to each other. So this is a Bargello quilt. We also have a, again, using the 2.5-inch bright strip rolls. This quilt is a butterfly quilt or a spool quilt, depending on how you look at it. You'll see one or the other. And the butterflies are made up of the 4-step color stories. So you can see again how successfully and important those color stories are. And this works with a beautiful, clean, crisp white background. Another of our free project ideas is this modern block quilt. This uses fat quarters in the warm color story. So again, this could be flat cotton, it could be flannel, but it is a fairly simple block to make. But again, the success of it all is relative to the values and the color cast used within it. I have one quilt here that combines Harmony and 4 four color stories of the Harmony with some other prints from Quilting Treasures. So you can see that they can integrate beautifully with other types of fabrics. And this again is a large quilt. This is an 84-inch quilt, very, very big for a king-size quilt. And yet the blocks are large, so it makes it really easy and fast to do. A little bit of machine applique and you'll be done in no time. But again, it uses fat quarters. And one of my absolute favorite designs is this one. This is a row quilt, and the row quilt is using all the neutrals. And I love, love, love neutral warms and neutral cools put together into one project. And this just works beautifully together. So you have not only the neutral color palettes, but you also have, again, the values, which are so important, and they all work well together because that's how the fabric was designed. So this is a row quilt. And then we also have one pattern that was designed by Kate Colleran of Seems Like a Dream, and she has designed this Sound Waves quilt as a for sale pattern, so you may see this available in the quilt shop near you. If not, you can certainly go online and research where to purchase it. But this is called Sound Waves, and again, you can see the success of the quilts are based upon the color and value relationship. So that's Harmony, 84 pieces, 84 beautiful colors to make your projects just sing with excitement. Please remember to support your local quilt shops. It's important to them as well as to us. And stay tuned for another of our QT Academy sessions.